tried on Nike Air. No, not. Yeah, no, they were. Anyway, but my feet don't fit.
Hey. I believe I'm live. Let me know. I've got 3 different things going here. I got Jen and Wiley on my computer. I got myself going on this, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my phone. No, I turned one of them into a private so nobody could get in there. For some reason, it created 2 different. Yeah, last night whenever I went to create it, it created 2 different oh, I see Jen and Wiley just finished their live. So I'll shut that down, make it a little easier. Yeah, for some reason I set up the StreamYard notification thing last night, and it created 2 of them for some reason. So if you're under the one that has the as Jesse as the cover, you're in the right spot. If you hear me kind of stop and listen, if you can, please say a prayer. My fire department, our fire department's out right now battling a structure fire, and to date we have an ambulance going for one of the firefighters right now. So if you can keep the men and women of our fire department in your prayers, that would be great. They're battling a shop fire right now, and there's gasoline and propane and everything else on the inside. So yeah, let's keep them in our prayers. And they're a strong group. We all run from fire and they run in. And I got to say, we have the best volunteer firefighters in, I don't care where. Top notch. You know, we're very fortunate. We live so close to Ottawa. We have Ottawa firefighters on our volunteer list, and we're very fortunate to have a very. If I was to have a fire or get in a car accident, I'd want it to be here. But my goodness, the ambulances that are flying around this county right now. Fire departments, but let's start right up at the top and say hello to Jesse. Hello, JT. Everybody's talking. Jesse, JT, and then we have Jen and Wiley, who, what a blessing, just went live to show one of their amazing subscribers just donated 10 sleeping bags. It's a true gift from God, and you know, just the magnitude of that. 10 individuals will stay warm this winter because of this lady. Absolutely amazing, amazing. And again, she's not even from that area. She just believes in Jen and Wiley's mission, and they want to support. She wanted to support them, so I think that's absolutely amazing. And who else have we got in here? Raquel. Hello. Hopefully you're a little warmer than what we were here this morning. Goodness gracious. It was pretty close to 32. We didn't have frost, but it was cold whenever we left. And well, whenever I put out that little spoof video there this morning about being 4 or 5 Celsius, it was 1. So that would be 30, 34 whenever we left this morning. So old man winter's on his way. I'm just waiting for Mother Nature and Old Man Winter to start fighting. Then it gets nasty up here. And Rebecca Davis, Brutal Bob, Craig Scabin, Timfer. Hello, how are you? And Heather Hopper, hello, hello. Cha-cha. Adventures with Cha-cha. Well, well, well. I can only imagine what those adventures are going to be. I see some silliness happening there. Tina Ladybug. Hey, Tina. And working with Wiley. Hey, guys. Craig. Brutal Bob. I appreciate all the praying hands and hearts, guys. That means a lot. And if we can keep them, I can't see the black smoke from the back of my house already, so they're on it. It's just very windy here, and the shop that's on fire is in the bush. It's set back in the man's property, so I've been praying quite hard that it didn't get into the bush, because the farm that that pot roast is on is literally right behind, backs onto this guy's property. So it is hitting a little close to home for my animals sitting back there. So, but like I say, we can't visibly see the black smoke, so that's a positive. That means they're on top. And we have three or four water trucks running right now. So anyways, I switched it up today, and I'll keep saying hello here in a little bit. I switched it up today. I got rid of Twitch. I don't think that Twitch and YouTube kind of mingle, and the individuals that I was seeing comments from don't think are individuals I'd want in my community. I'm sure there's some wonderful people that use Twitch, just not the ones that have been watching my live. So I got rid of those, and I am actually trying Twitter today. So Twitter, I guess, is branching out into podcasts and chats. So I'm streaming live both on YouTube and Twitter. So we'll see what happens. If you're watching from Twitter, I don't know if you can comment, but if you want to comment and be part of the chat, then you're going to have to just give me a second. This is Rob, where all my stuff is. I'm just making sure that the animals are fine and he can't see any issues. He's in the back pasture right now, and he can't see any smoke or smell anything, so which is good. That means that the fire's going the other way. The shop is set. Back. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just it hit a little close to home, that's all. So we're just making sure that I don't have to go and try to get the cattle and everything over into another pasture because Rob's there by himself. So, but we don't as of right now. I'm going through here. Hey, John. Happy Friday, sir. All the way from Scotland. And Mike Henderson. Hello, sir. Blue Feather Homestead. Welcome. And good old Cha-Cha. Donna Lawson. Welcome, welcome. Altruistic Farmstead sent you over. Does that mean like I've got to like send them a gift now or like stickers or I got to be nice to them now? All right. I love the cooler temperatures, Tamfer. I've got to find a place to move. Actually, I'd love to move to Belize. It's literally 25 to 30 year round. And most of the hurricanes go north of Belize. And apparently there is next to no crime whatsoever in Belize because they believe in the death penalty. And if you're caught stealing from a tourist, you have your hands cut off. And that's why it's so safe in Belize. You do anything to a tourist or another person, you die. You steal, you get your hands cut off. That's pretty good for low crime because it's pretty high stake if you get caught. Scott, you're dipping. We're dipping below zero every night. Oh, Raquel. It just sucks. But anyways, keep winter there. I'm sending it down to you, Sarah, in a big brown box. I gotta say, you know what? It is what it is. I complain. What do Canadians complain about the most? Weather. And it's always been that way. You can, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. Somebody uphill here will complain about the weather. And yeah, it is what it is. We don't have a whole lot to complain about up here. Well, that I could say and not get my live stream taken down. And then we have that just jumped on me and you Acres. Hello. Welcome. And Sherry, Black's Tropical Homestead. Howdy, howdy. And obviously Sarah from Mrs. E3 Farmstead. And not far behind is Chris from E3 Farmstead. We don't argue. Who's arguing? Was your wife telling you to do something? Because she is the boss. I know she is. At least let her think that. You're so ready. Oh, I'm confused now. You ready for an argument with your husband? Or are you ready for colder weather? Oh, really? That's one place that I can't wait. I can't wait because that's one of the stops in May. That's even if we get to go. Um, Old Uncle Joe is making it very difficult. Yes, the border is going to open November the 8th, but he's making it very, very difficult. Um, how do I say this? The cross border shopping is going to be nullified going south. Um, Obviously, our government allowed it July the 4th, I think. And yeah, and honestly, they did it to let folks across to boost the economy. It's just your fearless leader is not playing nice. My brother lived there about 4 years. He had some interesting experiences. Oh, that'd be in Belize, Donna? Um, oh, now you really got me confused, Sarah. Okay, there's a very good chance it will get lost or be very late in the mail. Oh, yes, the big brown box. I agree. I've got, I've been told that so many folks have sent me stuff over the last 2.5 weeks. I got one thing. I got a lovely note and Yogi Hollow Farms sent me some stickers. And I already showed Jesse and Lisa sent theirs last week with an amazing note as well. And I'm keeping it all, and I still haven't figured out what I'm going to. I think I'm going to do up a sticker board of some kind and put it back behind me. I haven't come up with that idea yet, or what I'm going to do. Yes, we had some flurries this morning here. Me and you, Akers. I'm not sure how far we're apart. I'm just north of Ottawa, like 25 minutes north of Ottawa. So I'm not sure whereabouts you guys are. And I think, nope, it jumped. Oh yeah, like look at Wyoming, and then they got 13, 14 inches of snow already. Lisa, Yogi Hollow, they had what, 4 to 6 inches on the ground already, and they're in South Dakota, so it's that time of year. And I can remember as a kid going trick-or-treating at Halloween in a foot of snow, and it's coming. It's coming, and as much as we don't want it, guess what? It's going to be here. Why was everyone allowed to threaten TV? Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one, Raquel. I'm still getting stuff, but yeah. yes, the snow has still stuck in Wyoming. What was it? Well, I watch Our Wyoming Life, which is Mike and Aaron out on their ranch, and yeah, they're still getting stuck. Even on the weekend, they were getting stuck with in snow drifts, and Mike wasn't taking his truck back into the pastures whatsoever. They were taking tractors. So yeah, no, it's still got quite a bit. No, you don't have to delete it, Raquel. I'm just not going to say what it was, if I agree with it or not. Oh, I did. I missed Big Matt. Hello, Big Matt. Molly, stop. Molly. Molly. Anybody want a lap? She's bugging me. The permissions are showing lots of. Huh? Oh, yes. Well, he's done a lot of damage, especially to the bitumen that we used to send down to Louisiana to be processed. That was huge kick. And sorry, they're just leaving the scene with the fire department or firefighter there now. All right. What is that, Jen or Tamfer? I'd say it's a combination of apricots and plums. Could break open the seeds. There's either a spoon, knife, or fork inside. Hey? Wow. I just look at bees' nests. And I gotta say, I have two that I've seen this year, one here and one over at the farm. And they're both about 4 feet off the ground. So to me, that's an indication that we're only going to get 2 to 3 feet of snow, which, yes, you folks down south seems like a lot, but in Canada, 2 to 3 feet of snow is not that much snow. Fork is a mild winter. So is this a fruit that grows on a tree, Jen? Oh, Wiley just answered that. Tamfer, they're sweet and tart, about the size of a golf ball. They say a persimmon in a local area will tell you winter forecast. Spoon means you'll be shoveling snow. Well, y'all better be getting ready for long winter. So do you have, like, Jen and Wiley, I know here in the major cities, there's lots of, how would I say it? Like missions. There's spots not for everybody, but there's some spots that have cots and whatever that folks can, if they want to, get out of the cold and at least have a cot to sleep on. Now, it's not wonderful settings, but they are inside the building and they're not having to sleep out in the snow. Do you guys have that around, like, where you guys are feeding? Or is that something that, you know, I know you're working with that one nonprofit on Thursdays to start with. Is that something that they do during the winter whenever it gets really, really cold, is open their doors for folks so they don't freeze to death? Or just wondering. We only have Salvation Army and they only let people in at night. Many people have told us they don't like to go there because they're treated badly there. I don't know. That blows me away. Our most vulnerable population. And they're treated like, and it's here too. There's a lot of theft. If you have anything valuable, it'll be stolen overnight. I've heard that from at least one of the places here, and it might have even been the Salvation Army, but there's 2 or 3 plus the Salvation Army. And I think they all hold about 50 to 100 folks. Not everybody gets a bed to sleep on, but they are warm. So yeah, it'd be nice if you could get into a local church and even, you know, the church would, once you get your nonprofit status, you'd be able to give the church a receipt. They would donate their kitchen and whatever, and then you would just give them a receipt in kind. I know up here, I don't know about down there, because I know it's, you know, and I'm sure it changes all over the US, but up here, churches and that don't pay property tax. So, you know, I don't know. There has to be something that, you know, because there's only, a few more weeks that you'd be able to feed if you can't get into a church. And the way I look at it is that church that you say is right there that you can see whenever you feed the folks, it would probably be to their benefit for you to come in and do a hot meal middle of the week. I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it. They would be able to make better lunches the rest of the week, because allowing you in once a week, you know, at least, like you say, that demographic of folks right there, get fed. Like, because I remember you saying that you didn't think that they'd walk to where you help out on Thursdays. So, I don't know. There's just got to be, honestly, we have to go back to the olden days where folks actually cared about one another. Because it's just sad. It's truly sad that, you know, these folks are just considered a number. And, well, you're helping them get glasses, you're helping them do this, you're helping them do that. It's just disgusting that they can't walk into a town hall, some kind of place, and get some kind of help. How many people would they take off the street if the government would allow these folks to get their IDs back? I bet you they'd take quite a few folks off the street. I don't know. It's something that's been in most nonprofit organizations have a tax exemption. Yeah, okay, so it's the same up here, Chris. I know churches, nonprofits, up here, fairs, agriculture doesn't pay a whole lot in property tax. Actually, I can tell you the exact amount they pay. So my home is considered rural residential farm. So I was surrounded by farms. My property taxes are going to go up because the farmers are selling off their land and they're putting up houses. Not a darn tootin' thing I can do about it. But yet the gentleman across the way, who already sold off 3/4 of his farm, kept a little chunk that he plants cash crop on. Well, he kept just enough that he only has to pay 25% of property tax, but yet he drove up everybody else's property tax around him because we're not exempt. But yet I do pay less property tax than the new houses that just went on his property. They're considered subdivision, where I'm still considered rural residential farm because of the farm behind me. That's where this house was severed off of. It was supposed to stay in the family. I don't know if they had a ruckus or whatever, and it was split. And we were fortunate enough, we got the house. The family tried forever to get us out until they realized that we were good folks, and we weren't party animals, or we weren't going to damage their stuff in any way. And 100% disabled vets don't pay property tax either. Oh, that is amazing. But what is your classification for 100% disabled vet? Like, what would, and if it's too personal, just don't answer. But, I see like Mike, you, I know you're all on that scale. Does 100% mean that they have a hard time functioning? Like, how's that scale set up? And, okay, yeah, let me go back here. Hey, Laura, Hedgehog. Hope everything's well. And thank you guys for sharing the links. And our friend must be walking his dog today. He hasn't showed up to say hello. Not that I'm complaining. And I think I said hello to Lynette. If I didn't, hi Lynette. I'm just having a quick look here to see. I just wanted to check and make sure I wasn't getting any more updates. Okay. And again, thank you guys, all my mods. Again, if he shows up, he's respectful. You know my outlook. You get farther with honey than you do with poo. So don't throw poo at him if he's being nice. That's just my outlook. If he gets rude, double barrels. But I think we should be okay. Okay. Sorry, I had multiple things going here. The only way that I can still hear the fire department, whatever, is I was playing my video on here so I could read the other chats. And yeah, that just got far too confusing. Me talking, trying to read, hearing myself, and hearing the fire department. I just about was looking for a brown bottle somewhere because I was going to go crazy. Yes, Sarah, I was going to go crazy more than normal. Beach to it. So, like I said, I really don't have. There's lots of stuff in the mail from what I'm told, but I just haven't got it yet. And I was hoping my stickers were going to be here today, but guess not. Okay, I can take this. They have. There we go. Thank you all for saying a prayer. They are safe, sound, and just putting out hotspots. Yay. Bang. So that means hopefully there's the one person that was taken to hospital we can say a prayer for. And hopefully he or she will be tip-top shape. We never take a chance with smoke inhalation. And all right, I am going to put up the link. If anybody wants to come up and chat, sure, come on up. It's Friday afternoon. Always time for a good chat on Friday. And like I say, we are going on Twitter right now as well. So hopefully if anybody's watching on Twitter, they go over to YouTube and be part of the chat. It's just something new that I'm trying out today. And I figured, why not? So, I thought I'd already put up the... you know what? He's, for a hacker, he's pretty reasonable. He was in, well, Mike and Tanya, Fowler Family Farms. He visited them last night, and everybody kept poking at him. Don't poke. They poked at him enough that he started spamming them hard. Yesterday, he didn't spam us once that I know of. He came in and chatted just like everybody is right now. And then he was over on hello, sir.
Hello.
He was over at Hidden Heights Farm, and they were going crazy trying to get rid of him. And I said, just be nice to him and he'll stop spamming you. Well, they just kept poking at him even more, and he kept spamming them. And then he said, oh, rambling, I'm just going to leave for the night. Somebody said something smart. Guess what? Spam them the whole time. Like, I just don't get it. Yo, you missed it yesterday. You've got to you got to go back and watch that. He was interacting with us. He was actually being pleasant. He wasn't being rude. Oh,
hey guys.
How are you?
Let me figure out how to do this. Let me switch this way. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Is there an
Like that.
echo when I talk?
Nope.
Okay, because I'm inside, so where I'm at, it's kind of amplified to me, so I didn't know if it was gonna affect.
No, at least I don't hear anything. You hear back? Do you hear echo from him, Laura? Because I don't. No.
Nope. Sorry, I gotta figure this. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just getting
Busy.
right confused. Oh, gracious.
So you was asking about that 100% disability tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of complicated
Oh, okay.
because you have lots of paperwork that's got to be filled out and sent to the tax office. Then because you have to be tax exempt. So, and they only do that for 100%. I don't think there's a scale there. I think it's only for 100% permanent and totally disabled.
Okay.
So like for me, I'm 100% permanent and totally disabled, but I'm employable. Just a moment.
Yeah, certainly. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's new and exciting with you, Laura?
We just accepted an offer on our house.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now we got to, hopefully it appraises for what the offer was, because prices are crazy. And it's a good time to sell your house, though.
Well, it is, but yet whatever you go to buy is also inflated unless you have somewhere to stay until it starts coming back down, and then yes,
Right.
you'll make a fortune.
We're going to rent a house in Tennessee, and we have land in Tennessee. We
Okay.
have like 160 acres out there.
Nice.
And we're going to build on that. So
Okay.
So we're very excited, but cautiously until we close, we'll be like just kind of doing mini celebrations.
Always, yeah, you're always on guard.
Right.
And whenever you sell that house, because if it doesn't appraise, you're in trouble.
Right. And then there's the hoops, if something needs to be fixed, and so each little step we'll do a little celebration, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So once now do you have to worry about their money, or are they pre-approved, or?
We're not exactly sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're paying their closing, so their money can't be that great. We're hoping that, but they're going to take on our chickens and our rabbits and all of that stuff. So we don't even have to deal with what we're going to do with them. They want our mini homestead, what they want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. And then you'll just have to restart.
We can't hear you.
You're muted, Chris.
Chris, you're muted.
I don't know if he's talking to somebody there or.
Oh, maybe. I think so. It's weird because he had the camera pointing at him.
I know.
I think he doesn't realize he just doesn't have mic on.
There.
we
No, I turned it off on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I
I
kind
had
of
a-
thought so.
I had a phone call come in, so
Oh, okay.
I muted the mic and took the call. But it was crazy because I could hear you guys and my phone call too.
Oh, weird. That's really strange.
Oh,
Yeah, usually
she
if the
knows that-
call comes in,
and
it
she
will
knows you're
mute
not
out.
live.
It'll mute out YouTube. So that was
They-
weird that it actually didn't do that when I accepted the call.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about our land is we're on a green belt, and so we'll have to pay less taxes because of the
Oh.
green belt. So
That's for your new property or the
for our
property
new
already?
property, and the only thing we have to get a permit on is septic.
Okay.
Even though we'll get everything looked at because I'm not living in a house that isn't properly.
Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
definitely smart.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I see some of these folks that are building houses and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not getting anybody to look at it." I'm thinking, if you're going to spend that kind of money, why wouldn't you have somebody look at it?
Right. It's
It just
more
didn't.
insurable that way too.
Well, that's it. I know up here, anyways. I don't know if it's the same down there, but you need like wet inspections if there's a furnace or a fireplace, or like there's just so many inspections that we have. I don't know if you guys need it down there, but
Here in Oregon, we're like that, but in Tennessee, where we're going to be, we don't. The only thing that needs to be inspected is septic.
okay.
So
It's state by state
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because
I
it's
was-
not a national. It's usually either state or city that has the
Okay.
ordinances on those.
Okay.
So it's kind of here. It's like here. It also depends on the type of loan you get. Depends on what you're doing, and stuff. So like, I can build stuff on my property and not have to have a permit for it, But if I was to like add on to my house, then I may need one to do that.
Oh, okay. And
So it just kind
Brent,
of depends on where you're at.
and I just want to say hi. Rochelle from Brampton Gardeners here,
Hi, Rochelle.
and Brian Losses. Rochelle asked whereabouts in Oregon you are again.
I'm in the Portland metro area now. I'm not in Portland. I won't say exactly, but in that area.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's just I remember. I think that her family's from around there. I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
think
not-
she lived in Oregon for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah, she grew up in Salem apparently.
Yeah. That's about an hour and a half away from mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat, and it's nice to see some new people in here today. Welcome, thank
Yeah.
you. And if you haven't
I can't
subscribed,
see you, but thank you for coming and stopping in and enjoying this rambling. Friday.
absolutely. And if you want to see anybody's link, just I've got a few mods in here, and just speak up, and one of the mods will be more than happy to throw up some links for you. And
Sorry, your taxes are going up, Chris. That's not fun. Or not Chris, Scott. Sorry.
God, I was gonna
Oh.
say I don't.
Yeah, no, and that's one out of 2 subdivisions. There's still one more to go in right across the road.
Right.
So whenever you see the videos that I put up during the summer and I'm facing like the road, that whole field will be houses probably
Wow.
within 2 years. So
Yeah.
there's 23 in the first subdivision, and they've asked approval for 41 houses to go into the next section. But again, you know, we were rural residential farm because we were severed off the farm. But our taxes are gonna go up because of all these new subdivisions, because technically we're not rural anymore, we're a settlement.
Yeah.
So it's gonna suck. But yet our cost of housing is also our house is going to be worth more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, you know,
Yep.
It's that catch-22 there.
pretty much like, you know, they're not cheap little houses. They started out at 535, I think, and they're up over 700 now. And they're the biggest lot in there is 3/4 of an acre. Yeah.
It's good that they're doing it that way and allowing them to spread out instead of compacting.
Well, we have to
doing
because,
like half-acre lots, on there,
yeah, we can't.
or acre lots.
Yeah, we can't just simply because of the water and sewer. We don't have it. We don't have city services here. It's well and septic, so you need, what is it, 100 feet from well to well, and from well to septic has to be 100, and that includes your neighbors. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was 100, or the magic number is 125 now, but yeah, it's either between 100 and 125. 125 feet. And so my well's in the front of our house, septic's in the back, and my neighbor is the same, but they have a pool with their septic away in the back. So, and I don't know, they were digging something up there yesterday, so I don't know if they had to dig up their septic system or.
Shoot, I think the lid to my septic tank's not even 20 feet off my house.
Oh yeah. Well, mine's just my back deck. Mine's just off my back deck because we just had ours pumped out yesterday. So
Sorry, that's my deaf child. He likes to grunt and groan.
that's quite all right. They want to say hi. That's all okay too.
He likes to say hi to people in lives.
How old is he?
He is 14.
14?
Yeah. And he's a
That's awesome.
foster kid. So.
Well, anytime that I'm on live and he wants to say hello, he's more than welcome.
You want to say hi? You say hi? If you guys wave at him.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
That makes his day.
Oh, what a sweetie.
Well, that big old smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just waving away.
He's still waving.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
He's got his weighted blanket on him.
oh, how old's the puppy?
Not 11 years old.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
not a puppy.
No.
that's not a puppy. No.
Just
So
a
what?
big weighted blanket.
Okay, so he likes
He likes
the
Yeah.
awesome. That's our our lab always used to lay on me like that until I got
Mhm.
my new lazy boy, and I won't let her up on me now.
Yeah.
So the odd time I'll go sit in the couch or on her leather chair.
Mm-hmm.
Dog's spoiled.
Yeah.
Has its own leather chair. But, everybody.
They're great.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if we'll get another. And that's a discussion that we always have between the two of us. But
Right.
we have a little one. She's what's Lexi?
An
Huh?
ankle biter.
Bichon Frise.
Yeah, Bichon Frise and Poodle.
Mm-hmm.
Or a wiener dog, yeah, mix. And
We have
she's not long for the world. She's pretty much lost all her teeth, and
Oh.
she has panic attacks, and
Mhm.
yeah, so she's not long. I'm trying to think. I think she's 12, and that's pretty old for a little wee dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, Molly's probably 8, I think, 8 or 9.
Had a little Chihuahua
Oh, did you?
at one time, and when we got her, he was a little teacup. I mean, he was just a teacup Chihuahua. He was fine.
It's all good, Laura. It's all good.
And those, it was a little boxing glove keychain, and that was one of his toys. And I've got a picture of him with that next to him, and it's almost bigger than he is. And he lived till he was probably close to 20.
Yeah. Wow.
Which was old for
Oh
a
my
Chihuahua.
goodness. Rochelle was just saying her Gizmo will be 16 in January.
Oh my goodness, that's old.
I guess so. Holy cow.
I have
That
a little wired hair dachshund.
okay.
He's always right next to me. You probably
But
live
yeah,
there.
16 for and what is Gizmo? What kind of dog, Rochelle? I don't know why you can't hear Raquel. As far as I know, we can hear everybody. Oh, yeah, it must be your internet because it's a pug at 16. Wow, that's even more. That's crazy. Lexi, go see
Yeah,
mom.
it's rare that they make it to
Go.
15
She's
Yeah.
coming. Oh, yeah, especially
because of their breathing issues that they end up having.
that's it. Their breathing issues, goodness gracious. Friends of ours, they're lucky if they make 10 with
Yeah.
their folds. They get infections in their folds and with their breathing, and wow, that's absolutely
A lot of them get seizures. I had one that had seizures.
Sure pays are the same way because they've got all those rolls.
Yeah.
yeah.
My wiener dog has seizures too because he was I got him from a hoarder, so he was overbred and stuff like that, and so he was a rescue from a hoarder.
Sure is a nice cup there, Scott.
I know that's what
Mhm.
Sarah said too. Shout out to E3 Farmstead.
That is a
That's
nice.
my that's my go-to cup. So, yep. My kids tried to steal it from me. They were told in no uncertain terms, you don't touch my blue cup.
That's my buddy's cup.
Well, that's it. And then I have my big Bubba that I use for coffee, so they know. And my daughter's like, my middle one, she's like, well, Dad, I like big cups. I'm like, great.
Mhm.
Go buy one. You have more money
Right.
in the bank than I do. Oh, well, why don't I just use yours? Because you use it and I'll never see it again. And those Bubbas aren't cheap.
Exactly.
I think I paid $20 and it was on sale. So, it's like, thanks,
Yeah.
kid. But yeah, no, go buy your own. You have more money than what I do. And
We need to set up an online store.
Yeah.
Oops.
Because
Determine what if we're going to do all of it ourselves, or we haven't talked about it or anything, but it's like
if I can
maybe we
if I
need
can
to.
give you one word of advice, if you have the time, absolutely do it yourself. Because you don't get compensated correctly using the big ones, but they do all the work.
Right.
Like just take for the shirt that Sarah ordered. It is I made $4 plus the donation that she gave me to go towards the kids. So it's probably cheaper for you to get a domain and use Wix as a website. Very, very, very easy. It's you don't even need to do like
I've
any
got
programming.
mixed feelings about Wix.
Well, or another program like it. There's several. I just said
There's
Wix
several,
because that's the one I've used. And
I've used it, and
yeah, even Donna. Oh, hey Donna, Little Southern Brothers
Hi,
said
Donna.
you'll save a lot to do it yourself. And just talk to Donna because she set up the website for theirs. So, and they've got a great little website that it's easy to maneuver, and they do all their own stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's just there's no way that I could sit down like just as it is. I have to move so much in my lives. There's no way I could sit down and actually like bend my neck that long and look down. There's just no way I
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
yeah.
And do all you can do yourself. Make the shirts too if you can. And yeah, they do, Donna. They have the press and whatever. They make their
Which is so cool.
yeah.
That is really cool that you're doing it yourself. It kind of makes it really personal too when we know that you guys have touched the shirts and made the shirts, and there's a little love going in it that way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of work that goes into a shirt, especially with our design,
Yes, you've got
because there's so many little things that you have to take out in order for it to look right.
Mm-hmm.
Which Sarah does. Usually Sarah will do all the weeding and stuff like that. I'll do some, but she does the majority of that, and then she'll send it over to me, and I'll press out the shirts.
Yeah. And yeah, Donna said to make sure that all you folks down in the U.S. are using Pirate Ship. It's a discount. It's a discount shipping, and I know Donna said she saved a lot of money, and Jesse and Lisa have saved a lot of money shipping with this Pirate Ship. And to tell you the truth, I don't think it takes any longer. I think it may be even quicker, even though it is still the U.S. Postal Service that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
We did have one in Canada. I just don't. I can't find the name of it anymore. I know there was a cheaper one in Canada. It was about 50% off, and I'm trying to find to make sure that they're still good.
We've been looking at it,
And all
but we
you have
haven't had to send anything yet, lately. So we've not set anything up, but we've looked at it.
Well, I know both Donna and Jesse have both used it. And I have not heard, and I know there's other people that have used it, and I've not heard one bad thing about it. I
Right.
thought, well, maybe it's a low cost. Maybe the postal service will be angry and throw it out, or that was one of my concerns, but I haven't heard of that happening whatsoever. And Donna said they got a shirt from Tennessee to Oklahoma in 2 days. So that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. I still haven't gotten my shirt yet.
What?
Yeah, it still ain't showed up.
The one that I ordered for you?
Who do you go through, Scott?
Bonfire.
Oh. There is a shirt shortage.
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
I did get a warning that the colors, they're starting to run out of colors because they may be sitting on a cargo ship somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking right now, Chris, because that was ordered.
You told me it shipped
ago.
You told me it shipped.
Yeah.
And I check the mail every day looking for it. And the crazy thing is that Sarah won a shirt from Fowler on their little giveaway, and her Fowler shirt came in already.
Well,
it was way after yours.
Did she get her hoodie that she ordered yet?
Not yet.
See, I don't understand why Bonfire is doing that. And now, don't forget, Mike and Tanya have all the shirts at the house, so they're just mailing theirs out. So these still have to be made because it's made to order.
Right. I figured, 3 weeks I should have it, but yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Things are seeming to take a little longer. I mean, I ordered shirts and
well, mine, everybody was wearing my shirt before I even got it up here. Like 2.5 weeks. I ordered a shirt. I was the first one to order anything. And folks were wearing my shirts for 2 weeks before I even got my own. So I'm actually really confused. I'm looking at my orders here right now. And yeah, there's nothing, everything's been shipped.
Somebody wanted it more than me.
Well, it's a little too expensive to be starting to give everybody shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. I will shoot me a text and remind me after, but yes, I will 100% look after this because I ordered yours. Yours says it was delivered October 1st.
Never made it to my mailbox. Did it get... You sent it to my P.O. box, right?
I'd have to look back at whatever you gave me.
Yeah, I believe it was the P.O. box.
So
I wonder if it got put in the wrong mailbox.
Well, I don't know if you see somebody, because there isn't that many in Oklahoma. There's
Right. Especially
Jen.
in my area.
Well, that's it. There's Jen and her daughter Emily that have one. Brandon has one, and you had one. That's all from your area. Well, I'll figure it out. I'll order you another one this afternoon, and then I'll just fight with them to get my money back. No
And
big deal.
I'll double check we'll double check after this and make sure that the right address was there and everything.
And Yes,
Yep.
absolutely, Lisa. My stuff comes out of Virginia. Whenever you guys ordered me the shirts for you guys, it came out of California. And yeah, I've had Bonfire ship me shirts either from Virginia or California. So yeah, they've got a couple different distribution centers. I just well, considering Rochelle, I can get shirts from Mississauga for $4. So yeah,
Wow,
it would
that's good.
cost. Yeah, well, that's it. I can get, and they're the gilt and like they're good shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is to get that price, I have to go to Toronto to pick them up, which is a full day out of,
Yeah.
or
And who going to
actually
Toronto?
the shipping would be about $50. So if I was to order like, 100 shirts, but then what do you order, right? You order 100 shirts. What are you going to get stuck with? I kind of liked what Brandon and Stephanie did. They kind of had 10 shirts of everything. And whenever they start getting low, then they would reorder a few shirts here or there. Your big sellers are 3X, 2X, and extra large and large. Those are your biggest sellers. And then
Daniel and his wife, that's what they did when they first started with their merch.
Yeah.
Arms. They just started out getting, 10 here, 10 there, just, and now they finally got into and they were running out of stuff. So because at first they didn't realize how much they needed and everything like that. So they just, so much of this, so much of that. And then they kept getting requests for other things and they just kept adding to it. And then finally they've got a nice little system set up.
Well, that's it. They know what's moving, what's not. They have sales on the slow running stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's got it figured out. It's great. It just, I actually sent it to Donna. There's a place in Miami. It offers free shipping in the US. And they have discounted tumblers, coffee mugs, shirts. Now, they aren't $4 shirts, but they're $6 shirts, which still, by the time you put your thing on, and you can still sell them for, $20-25 and still make $10 a shirt, which is more than reasonable.
Yeah.
But, sure, Daniel can sell, he can afford $10,000 worth of stock because he knows he's going to sell it. He's got 500,000 people following him.
Yeah.
Right.
We're just itsy bitsy.
Yeah.
So
A sneeze to them. Yeah.
well, that's it. And a lot of the folks that bought for me were actually supporting kids. They knew that all all that. Hey, buddy. They knew all that. All my money from the merch is going to make sure kids have the proper things to use in cleats,
Nice.
even right down to socks. There's a lot of kids that their parents can't afford it, and our
Right.
football program, we supply everything. But like I said, last year I think we had to pay for 10 kids tuition.
Yeah.
So, the school has a little bit of a contingency plan,
Mm-hmm.
but not as
Yeah.
much as as needed.
Right.
And there's great folks in the community that help supply some stuff, but normally it's about $3,000 that we inject into the program. Well, that between that and Special Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
I do quite a bit for the Special Olympics as well.
That's
and
awesome.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I just wish I could coach, but I'm scared because of the holes in my neck.
Yeah.
You know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People on the spectrum, they don't understand. I could end up with a ball in the back of my neck and I won't be able to
Yeah.
walk the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Where, I'm there, I help out with all their tournaments and, look after stuff and that, I enjoy that just as much as coaching. I still get
Yeah.
to interact with a lot of the kids and I use that term loosely. Kids, there's still some folks that are older than me that are playing in the Special Olympics, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just awesome.
I get a kick out of Josh Blue because he played soccer. He's a comedian now, but
Okay.
he's got cerebral. No,
Cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
yeah, I believe that's it. But he played soccer for the U.S. And represented them in the Paralympics. And he jokes about it because he was like, he's like, we like to mess with people because can you believe, seeing 10 or 15 guys that are walking off the plane one in a row and we all look like zombies, He's like, he's like, and we do too. We will sit there and go, we'll make all the noises and we'll come off the plane. And he goes, people's faces are just
Hang on.
like,
Oh, okay. She just had to go for a minute.
but he jokes about it. He's like, if I don't joke about it and laugh about it, about my disability, he's like, then there's no point.
There's so many people that they have an out. Some people use humor. Some people are serious. There's just so many different avenues that folks use to cope with what the good Lord has given them. And hey, Judy May. And I just want to get caught up here. Judy May. Oh, wow. LG has graced our presence.
Oh, well, hey, Lori.
Hello, Lori.
And those that have come into chat that I can't see. So.
Actually, it's been pretty much the same folks. We've pretty much stayed between 17 and 25 here all day, so we're doing good. And no, Harvey hasn't decided to stop by. So,
but he's welcome as long as he's respectful.
Absolutely. Lori and I were both trying to tell him in both the lives last night, leave him alone. Treat him not respectfully, but don't taunt him.
Just
or
be
he
nice.
will spam you. You be nice, he'll be nice, and everything will go well. But yeah, no, Harv hasn't popped by yet. I'm sure. Actually, it was about 3:00 whenever he showed up. Yes, no, it was earlier than that. He was here earlier yesterday. Well, yeah, I got him to talk, but then people would just keep yipping at him, and he started. He's here to drive people crazy. That's what he enjoys. He knows that he's not going to get that here. We include him. That takes all the wind out of his sails.
Takes away his fun.
That's it. Because I made as much fun of him as he was making of everybody else. Well, that just it was fun the first time he was here. But after that, you know. Sorry, I'm just talking to Rob to make sure there's no problem.
Hey, did you get my message that it actually popped up that you had 2 lives scheduled for today?
I said I couldn't figure out why. I set it up last night on StreamYard, but I made one private so nobody can get into it.
Yeah, it popped up on mine, so I was like,
yeah, I can't even figure out how to get it off. Like, I've tried to delete it, you can't. So unless I go in under the live, anyways, I just made it private. Nobody can get into it. I can't even get into it. So
my foot's going to sleep.
oh, that's not good. But oh, Laura was here. Laura's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, yesterday, man, even if I did have my phone yesterday, I would not have been able to be in the live. It was so hectic yesterday afternoon. Because we've got one clerk in some training, and then the clerk that was covering up front went back to her desk, and so I was doing 2 jobs. Yeah, it got busy.
I was going to say, so you had a lot of fun yesterday then.
Yeah. So I was throwing that joke out there. I procrastinated so hard I left my phone at home, which I did. Straight up left my phone at home. Still on the charger.
Well, it was good and charged by the time you got home.
Right. I text Sarah from one of my coworkers' phones just to let her know that I made it okay.
Oh, right. That's right. That you didn't have.
Because I didn't have mine.
Yes, and she would have been worried sick. All right, Lori. Yeah, I don't. I'll try to delete it, JT, because I won't go live. Well, probably won't go live till next Thursday, but God only knows. But my Friday's thumbnail is going to be, to pay respect to the Mod Father. Every Friday, the Mod Father will be my thumbnail. Gotta respect the old fella, right? Or I mean the young spring chicken. My bad. Sorry, Uncle Jesse. That's weird. I'm trying to see it. I don't know. It's showing y'all that I have too, but it's showing me that.
I just looked where on my notifications,
Yeah,
and it's gone from my notifications now.
I was gonna say because it's not here. It's gone for me now
'Cause,
too.
yeah, I didn't remove it.
But yet JT said that she just went looked and it was there. I'm confused. More than normal.
Oh, I can't do it.
Ah, sorry, mini meltdown.
Uh-oh.
He couldn't
all
find
right?
Dad. I think he thinks it's Saturday because he's got no school today, and then he couldn't find Dad, so that's confusing to him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. So today was a PA day for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he loves school, so it's hard.
Nothing wrong with that. School's fun.
Yep. Yep.
Nope. Right there.
What? Oh, John. That's funny. We have a John Brown up here as well in Toronto. My daughter was thinking about going to it, so that's why I
One
know.
more thing.
All right. You do what you got to do, Laura.
Yep. I got my degree from John Brown University.
Okay.
And it's a Christian school. And they do a lot with they've got flags in one of the main halls of every country that has got, that they've accepted students from.
Okay.
From El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, South
Wow.
America, Africa. Yeah, from all over the world, there's been students come to this school.
Yeah, no, I did delete it in StreamYard, JT, and it still showed for you guys, but then you just said that it was removed, and Heather's telling me that she can see it, but nobody else can. I don't know.
I wonder if she refreshes her page, if that'll
maybe,
remove it.
because like you say, I can't get to it anymore, and nobody can. Heather seems to be the only one that can, but I'm not worried about it. Nobody can get into it anyways, so.
Got something weird coming up?
Well, yeah, it just seemed to create two YouTube feeds off of one StreamYard feed.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yet, if I'm not mistaken, it did something like that on Friday too. Last Friday. I'm not sure. Anyways, it doesn't matter, Heather. Even if you try to go click it, it's going to tell you it's private. That
That's
way,
like,
I
made the mistake of doing one in YouTube and one in StreamYard, and they both showed up. So I had to, because I'd been having trouble getting StreamYard to sync with YouTube. Like, it was weird. So, but I figured out what I was doing wrong. So at the bottom there on StreamYard, it'll say view in YouTube. And so then it'll allow you to view it in the YouTube instead of viewing everything from the StreamYard
Yeah.
platform. You can view it from the.
I think it's just a delivery dude, isn't it? Maybe my stickers are here.
Maybe
Ooh. That'd be cool.
I need to order some more.
We just got one in the mail from Vision Acres.
Nice.
Oh, it's from my daughter. Of course it is. Of course.
Of course.
Why would it be for me? Everything, everything that I was supposed to get this week, nothing showed up. So,
Oh, really?
oh well. Quiet
Hmm.
week. Next week will be crazy.
I think what
Yeah.
I'll do this afternoon is get a board out because I've got the board I'm going to use for our sticker board.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've just got it was the door on our A-frame chicken coop that we took down in the first video we did.
Yep.
And so I'm going to take it and sand it down really good on both sides, clean it up, and we're going to use that.
Nice.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like sandblast it or just kind of give it a quick sand? And
I'll just give it a quick sand if I can get my sander fixed.
oh no.
It works great. What happened is where you stick your sandpaper in,
Mhm.
one of the latches don't latch right anymore.
Mm.
So I got to
Yeah.
figure out how to bend everything back into place so that it'll latch properly.
It should just unscrew. But yet if it's bent enough,
Mine's
you
almost
might
like
be able to get a screwdriver in there.
Mine's almost like it's like spring loaded.
Mhm.
And so I don't know how it bent because it doesn't look bent.
Mm,
So trying to figure out exactly where I need to bend the right places back in order for it to lock in place properly.
Yeah.
If not, I have hand blocks that I can attach sandpaper to and use that. So it's not a big deal.
so they
And
just
it won't
released
take much.
they just released in Ontario. Masks and most other restrictions will end in March.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
That's 2 years, 2 solid years.
Wow.
No matter where we go, we're mandated masks. They just announced that here,
We
but
were
yet,
we were lifted for like a month and a half, and then they put us back on full masks inside, outside, and everything. So it's just
So here, like at work, I have to wear a mask, but that's the only place that I actually have to, unless unless the business itself recommends it.
right. So you
So
always have
I'm
a mask on
I'm
you.
just reading. Yeah, I'm reading the plan here right now, and all the COVID passports, masks, everything by the end of March will be lifted, so long as everything stays the same. But yet, we've had 2 provinces, one out west and one out east.
Uh-huh.
Both provinces have tried this, and it blew up. They're having wicked, wicked high COVID numbers right now. But now our premier is, well, I don't know. Yeah, he's lifting all mask protocols and everything by the end of March. So I don't know. Hopefully it's
Unfortunately, it might blow up for a bit, but that will be good because you guys will build some good herd immunity.
see Ontario's doing so well with the pokey pokey.
Yeah.
We're almost 90%.
Yeah. All my
So
relatives they're in Ontario.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it we've got a good number. And since the Delta virus was here, we've only had one person in the ICU. And this is just in our county.
Yeah.
We've had one person. We've had several that have got it,
Right.
but the pokey seems to be keeping it at a level that folks are able to battle it by themselves. They're not having, and that was the major issue here, is we don't have the population you do, we don't have the hospitals you do, our numbers are much lower.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was our issue, is we just didn't have the place to send everybody. But so the province over from Raquel, they are sending their COVID patients to us in Ontario because they're at 125%, but they lifted
Wow.
all their restrictions. They don't have any room. They don't have enough ventilators and ICU beds to handle all these folks. And it's like, oh man, we're doing good here. Raquel and them are doing really good there. And it just seems like it was New Brunswick and Saskatchewan that they lifted the restrictions, or it was Alberta, I believe. I don't know. Either way.
Okay.
They lifted the restrictions and all hell broke loose with, and yeah.
Well, and I think your bigger provinces, your bigger cities and stuff like that, they're going to be affected more when they lift the restrictions than your smaller communities, your smaller towns, and stuff like that. You'll definitely see a rise in your bigger cities and your provinces and stuff like that, where the population is so much higher.
Yes. Yes,
Delta
absolutely.
Pretty.
And I would expect that, but again, Toronto is, if you're feeling up to it there, Big Mike, I just put the link there. If you want to come up, if you're not feeling well, I totally understand. It's, biggest Toronto and Vancouver, they flip-flop for the biggest city in Canada.
Yeah.
And they're like the rest of Ontario. They're sitting between 80 and 90% double pokey. And I know you guys are, hey, Cha-Cha. I know you guys are, or not you guys, but the U.S. seems to be giving this booster out, the Pfizer booster, where there's a few places here that they're giving it out, but it's not near what I'm hearing from like down on the U.S. side. It seems like you guys are given the bonus pokey, we'll call it. Seems to be like it's almost going to be available for everybody.
So from what I understand, is that they are looking like the boosters, and this is just what I've heard. So I don't know all the facts on it and stuff yet, but
it's all good, Mike.
I've heard that there's a possibility that you'll get boosters every 6 months to every year. And you'll get it, it'll become more like the flu.
That's what they're trying to get
every
to.
Year.
That's exactly what they're trying to get to. Is it'll be a little bit of a serum that is put in the flu vaccine, I've always got the flu vaccine just simply for my health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take a chance.
Right.
I get this, hokey pokey. I ain't going to be dancing around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it attacks platelets. I have
Yeah.
issues with my platelets.
Yeah.
So I am considered high risk with my doctors, but the province doesn't see me as high risk. So that's why I've got to be very careful going out and around people
Mm-hmm.
because they won't let me get the boost.
Right.
My doctors are fighting for me to get it. But so yeah, even our flu vaccines are in probably about a month early this year. And they say that it's about 30%, which is a half decent number.
Yeah.
Because they're able to judge what they saw come out of Australia and make the changes for us, right? Yeah. So they say that they're about 30%, which is pretty good. Normally the flu shot's between 10 and 20. So to nail 30%, and by next year, the booster is going to be probably right in with the vaccine, the flu shot,
Mm-hmm.
which
So when I was in the service, if I wasn't allergic to eggs, we didn't have a choice. We got the flu shot. And every year I got it, I got so sick. And
wow.
Yeah, because
so
you don't
when I
believe
got
it.
out of the service, when I got out of the military, I quit getting the flu vaccine and didn't get the flu anymore.
Yeah, what were you going to say,
So,
Laura?
Oh, that in the service you have to do that stuff because it's not your own body. Yeah.
right. You belong to the United States government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's it.
So it's like,
Kyle
go ahead.
jokes his boss is the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's the truth. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
In fact,
he's
you
signed
had
his
to
life
get
away.
you had to get permission to get a tattoo because it could be considered destruction of government property.
Right. I don't know if it is
That's
that way,
crazy.
but
Which so many people were getting them anyways that
yeah.
they don't really enforce it, but they do. So they enforce it if it's, they're like, okay, no face, no neck, no hands,
Mm-hmm.
because those are visible.
Absolutely.
So the way they put it out now is that as long as they're not visible or
Thanks.
inappropriate is kind of how they put it. So
Yeah.
it's got to be tasteful. They don't want,
Naked ladies.
naked ladies, gang related,
Yeah.
Hope you got the double.
Stuff like that. So
Kyle's just they're going on a play date in the field this weekend. So it's supposed to be really cold up here. So he's putting both of his military bags together, so he'll be
Oh,
warm. it's supposed it's going to be like a sauna in there for him, but
Mm-hmm.
he's packing really warm for this. This is the first outing of the. It's supposed to be rainy and cold, and it's just going to be a yucky, damp weekend.
if it ain't raining, you ain't training.
Yeah.
pretty
That
much.
was our motto. That's our
Yeah.
motto in the Army. If it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's not. It's the lower ranks that are shooting this weekend, so he's just more yelling at them.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not one of the top ones yet, but he's below the other guys. So
Mm-hmm.
this time he gets to critique them and tell them how to go a little quicker, and yeah. So he's kind of looking forward to
Being the boss.
Instructing
weekend.
instead of.
Yeah, because he's due for
That's one thing
another.
I loved about my military sleeping bag. Man, that thing kept me so warm on those cold nights.
Yeah.
Having those 3 layers.
See, we have 2. He has
Well, ours used to be, the old ones were 1, but they were really thick.
Okay.
And of course, the more you use them, the more you wash them and all of that, the less they work.
Yeah.
And so they went to a new style where they've got a lightweight and then a little bit heavier duty one. And then the outer shell is water resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're out in the field and it gets damp,
Yeah.
you're not going to get wet. But if it becomes like a huge downpour, you'll get soaked.
Yeah. See,
because it'll just go right through it.
I think he gets to stay in a building. It's not heated, but he's in a building, I think. Now, I don't know what the new recruits are. And Paul, he's in artillery, so
They'll probably sleep in their gun.
Yeah. Well, no, he's heavy.
Oh,
he's heavy artillery, so
not motorized artillery.
What was your MOS, Chris?
I had 2 MOSs. I started out as a 12 Bravo combat engineer demolition expert, and then went into the field artillery with the M109 howitzers.
Oh wow, nice.
I think
my husband served and my son served.
Okay.
Army. Yeah.
Navy.
I forget what they're
Army.
shooting this weekend. Whenever he comes back, I'll find it.
Yeah, I can tell you, if I had to do it all over again, I would have went I'd have probably went Air Force or Navy.
Right.
And I would have done a job. Even if I did go back to the Army, I would have chosen a different job, one that would actually transfer to the civilian world.
Right.
My combat engineer side does transfer over to the civilian world, but I applied for the state, the county, and the city that I was living in at the time and was denied. And when I contacted the state and asked them why, they said because of my combat engineer training, they had to start me out automatically at like $62,000 or $63,000 a year, and they were not going to pay. They started everybody out cutting grass, and they weren't going to pay me that to cut grass.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll do it.
They told me I was overqualified to cut grass.
Yeah, my son was a Army Ranger, and my husband was a helicopter mechanic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, Kyle's end goal is MP. That's what he's in school for right now. Yeah. And they've actually recommended that he stay with the reserves instead of jumping. The reserves give him $2,000 a year for school.
Yeah.
So it covers about half his tuition. Plus, he's guaranteed minimum 4 years full-time employment during the summer.
Right.
And this year he should make a good dollar. Well, because right now he's gunner and he's ranking up. So whatever he would go to there.
Yeah.
He will become a chief. He'll become a gun chief.
Yeah.
So
whatever it is, and then, but like they said, it's going to be a lot easier for him to remuster
Mhm.
coming out of the reserves and going in as an MP than to go in full time in artillery and try to remuster, because they're both of them are fighting for,
For
they're having a
slots.
hard
Or they're
well,
having a hard time keeping people.
they're having a hard time to
Yeah.
fill any spots because nobody wants to go overseas.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Blame 'em.
he was already offered to go this year, but like you said, he wants to finish his school, and I fully support him.
Yeah.
You get over there and something happens, you're not coming home. You're already deployed.
Yep.
Well, even
So-
if you get up there, like my son went to Afghanistan and
Okay.
didn't come back the same. So, even though there was no external wounds, so it's
It's
tough
the
stuff.
internal you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Yep. I went to Iraq in 03 and then turned right 03, 04, which my unit was the third push in
Mhm.
of the first rotation into Iraq.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, Mike, but that's eventually what. Oh, what guns are you going to be playing with this weekend?
Yeah, so you got to see some fun stuff too then.
C3
Howitzer.
C3 howitzer he's going to be playing with this weekend.
We're not sure.
Oh, nice.
But they're not shooting live. They're just because Canada doesn't have any money for ammunition. They're shooting blanks and dry fire.
Mm-hmm.
But
Man,
it's
the dry firing is rough on those big guns.
Well, they're not using the pins. Like, I say dry fire. They're not going to.
They're not
fire
using the
without-
primers or
Yeah. Exactly.
they're not just going to fire their primers into a blank tube. So
No. It'll just get the younger, or not the younger, but the unexperienced, more experienced moving the guns and
more familiar.
that kind of thing.
Well, it was
So,
crazy because when I reclassed to 13 Bravo to be on the howitzer, I'd already been in a field artillery unit for 2 years. So when I went to school, I already knew everything. I already had my license to drive. And so when we were out there, I told one of the trainers, I was like, I know how to do all this. It's like I've been in the unit for 2 years now, and he was like, and they didn't just sign you off on being qualified, and I was like, no, they sent me to school. He's like, that was stupid. He's like, they could have just signed off on you,
Yeah.
but they didn't. They went ahead and sent me to school,
Welcome to America.
and I had a lot of fun at the school, because I did stuff, that
If you want,
other guys
Dad's
didn't know how to do.
charger, it's charged
Mhm.
beside my bed.
I told
you're
one of
actually
my
driving?
instructors, I was like, yeah, I finger popped a few of these, and you got to be real careful doing that, or it can take a hand off.
Yeah.
So
And
he's not even he's driving this weekend.
I was like, yeah. I was the only one in school that got to drive the howitzer out. All the other instructors had to drive out because nobody else in school was licensed to drive. And because I had mine, my instructor let me drive out to the field.
Yeah.
Which
Kyle's fully certified.
It was funny because the commander come out and he was like, why is he driving? And my instructor went, because he's licensed and I didn't feel like driving.
Yeah.
And the commander went, okay.
Yeah.
And went on.
So
I finger popped around, and the guys that were in there with me freaked. Because when I was when I was the number one guy, which we loaded the round, we put the powder in, we set the primer, and then you've got a lanyard. There's like a little 6-foot lanyard or 5-foot lanyard, and then there's our 50-foot lanyard. Well, I kept losing my lanyard because I would jerk it and just let it. When I would pull it, I would just let it go. Well, it would fly off and fly under a chair or whatever. I never knew where it went. And when you're running, when you're doing a 3-round fire mission, you ain't got time to sit there and look for it. So you improvised. But we had an instructor. He was really cool. He goes, I can actually pop it, finger pop it, and get my hand out of the way and come back and catch the primer before it hits the ground.
Yeah. Wow.
That is so hard to do.
Yeah. I bet.
Good call.
I
you
was
need new
I was
batteries?
not that brave. I was not brave enough to attempt to catch the primer.
Right.
I bought him. Debbie and I bought him some earphones, like earmuffs, and it's supposed to be good for 145 decibel.
Yeah.
And it there's something that whenever it first goes off, it triggers something, and it's supposed to be easier on his hearing. Now he still listens to me, so I know he can still hear.
Yeah. Yep.
But
So many
yeah.
deaf people from the military that, all those guns.
Well, that's it. My dad was artillery in the day, and they didn't even have
Yeah.
They used cigarette butts
normal
if they had 'em.
sponge.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They never had them, so they were firing without any hearing protection whatsoever. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't for a while. We didn't have any hearing protection for a while.
he just said
And I
there's some
lost
guys
mine.
that still do it.
Yeah, I'd lost mine in the field somewhere and I couldn't get any. Yeah, my hearing is, I'm supposed to wear hearing aids and I don't, and it frustrates my wife, but they hurt my ears. And
he'd call me.
My hearing's good.
And you could hear the guns going. Just from they do, like, I don't know if it's warnings or just kind of, the big gun. I don't know what the big gun is, big huge gun, and it would be shooting off in the background. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready for bed." I'm like, "You're gonna go to bed?" Hearing that every 10 minutes, they just shoot it off on the base towards, and he's like, "Yep." I'm like, wow.
So,
Okay.
Chris,
you get so used to it.
Mike just looked it up. The Canadian C3 howitzer is a towed 105 millimeter.
Okay.
That's what Kyle and them are going to be playing with this weekend.
So that one, it's 105. It's on track, isn't it? Or do they pull it behind a Humvee or something?
No, he pulls it behind a 5-ton.
Yeah, well.
Or what do you guys call it?
5-ton. Deuce and a half.
Yeah, it's just it's like a deuce and a half. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He said it's a piece of garbage, but yeah, no, they're all internationals up here. And
so that is, we just call those the M105s.
Okay.
Instead of all that other stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah, we have those too, and I was never lucky enough. I was never on that style of howitzer, but I've heard they're very similar. The aiming's a little different because of where the gunner sits and the AG sits, the assistant gunner sit. But I have done every single job on a howitzer crew. Even like we went for a time with no chief at all, and I was the acting chief. But then when it come time to go to the field, they found an E6 to stick in that spot. And sometimes that E6 had absolutely no clue what he was doing.
Wow.
And in fact, I trained one chief to do that job. I was the acting chief. They moved him into the slot, and I trained him in that slot.
Well,
And he moved me to gunner because he we went through everything. We went through everything to prepare the gun for our live fires and everything, and he trusted me. And up until the fact that we got in, and on the howitzers, I was actually on the Paladin, and so they're a computerized system.
okay.
So when you pull in and lay, the computer lays you safe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and then you have your backup in case your computer system goes down. The gunner can jump over and still dial in and traverse and elevate, the gun to wherever they need to. And our computer went down, and like it was natural instinct. I immediately unplugged from where I was at, jumped over, plugged up, put in my coordinates, and was like, "Do I have permission to traverse and elevate?" And he was like, "No, we have to relay." And I was like, "No, we don't." And he was like, "Yeah, we do. We're not safe." I was like, "We are. Just let me do this." And he was so scared. And so our first sergeant come down and slid up in there, and he's like, "What's the deal?" He's like, "Our computer went down." And I said, "I'm ready to get on target here."
Yeah.
And first sergeant looked at me and said, then do it." And he's like, "But we got to relay. We're not safe." And he goes, "You laid safe with the computer system. Nothing has changed." And he looked over at me and went, "Do it." And I did. And I got on target, got everything leveled out. He checked it. And after those 2 rounds went off, he was just like, you could just tell, like, he was breathing hard. He was breathing heavy. He was about to have an anxiety attack.
He was about to drop of a stroke.
Oh, yeah. And he calls in, and he was like, he calls back to our FDC is what we call it. And he calls back and he was like, "Hey, where'd those rounds hit?"
Mhm.
And they landed safe. 2 rounds on steel.
Mm.
And he looked over at me and just went, "I should have trusted you. Good job."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I've done this a time or 12 or 20.
Mhm.
And he just kind of laughed, because I was like, "I've been here. I've done this." It's like,
Yeah.
the first howitzer I was on didn't have a computer system. We did everything.
Yeah. So Mike said the only active towable howitzer in the U.S. military is in the reserves, and it's an 8-inch gun. And that's Kyle is in the reserves, so
I
that's
just missed out on an 8-inch gun, and I was so glad.
would that. I guess that'd be one hell of a good kick on it too.
It's a big boy. Like, it's huge.
Well, I know these are the smaller ones. These are
Yep.
because they have two different types that Kyle and them use in the reserves, and this is the smaller of the two. And he had to go down to Meaford, which is another big base here in Canada that they do a lot of artillery training at.
Mhm.
And he Mike said hi, Laura.
Yeah, I said hi
And
to.
yeah, he I forget the size of the other gun, but he said it was it was quite high, and it
So
gave a good kick whenever it let go.
so we have the M105, which is what Kyle's on,
Mm-hmm.
and it shoots a 105 millimeter round. Then you have the M109 howitzer, but it's a 155 millimeter round.
Wow.
So our lightest round weighed 98 pounds. And our heaviest weighed, I think, 110 or 120 pounds.
Okay.
So, and then your 8-inch guns, they were shooting, I think their lightest round was 120 or 130 pounds. And then it just went up from there.
Wow.
Mhm. Wow,
Yeah, they
that's-
shot some big rounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I know.
And I know
Yeah.
the
But
howitzers we were on shot up to 26 miles. We could shoot 26 miles away.
Okay. Yeah.
Holy cow. That's,
I
that's good distance.
That's the Reg Force. The Reg Force has those. These guys learn the basics off of. I think the one that he's firing off, you'd know more, probably a kilometer or half a mile or something like that. Is all it'll go, and then there's another bigger one that
There,
goes about three kilometers, so it'd be about a mile and a half.
yeah,
Mike
'cause
said they call the howitzer, or Mike says that they call the howitzer 8-inch king of the battle.
Hmm.
that they do, and it is the king of the battle. It is definitely the king of the battle.
Now, Mike, are those the type of guns that you guys build all the artillery for?
They don't use them much anymore. I think there's only a few units that still use the 8-inch, if they use them at all.
Yeah, and Mike, if I'm overstepping, please just say I don't know what you're allowed, what you're not allowed to say. So
Yeah.
They're like, if you've seen movies of Vietnam, you've seen movies of World War II. The big guns that are under the camo tents, those really big boys. That
Mhm.
was your 8-inch howitzers.
okay,
And so they're slowly they've of course, when I got in '97, they were slowly um, doing away with those. They're trying to get newer stuff. They were slowly phasing out stuff from Vietnam and stuff from World War II that we were still using. So
absolutely. All right, Paul, have a good weekend. If I don't see you, sir.
Bye, Paul.
But yeah, no, it's he enjoys what he's doing, and if he wasn't going to get into the police, I think he would stay artillery.
Mm-hmm.
I love the artillery. I love both my
He's-
jobs in the military.
Well, let's face it. He's 19. He's
Yeah.
certified on the guns. He's certified driver and he's certified tower. So and that kid won't be 20 until April. So
Wow.
he's doing something right.
Oh yeah. Well, and to
So-
have that initiative, to
Yeah.
do it. Um,
One
Not
proud
everybody
papa right
does
here.
anymore.
that's it's hard to find young soldiers like that have that initiative.
Yeah.
And when you do have that initiative, it goes noticed. I mean, it does not go unnoticed at all.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. He,
Whether it be good or bad, it doesn't go unnoticed. And unfortunately, I was one of those go-getters, and we got to do things right. It doesn't necessarily have to be done exactly the way the book puts it because, well, the books were written back in the Vietnam era.
Yeah.
Did you get my text?
So you find, you do find tricks and stuff like that to be able to do it a little easier.
Right.
But, as long as my guys followed the book and did things the right way, and,
So,
we're safe no matter, no matter how they went about getting the final objective, I was happy with that.
so Mike said that they make all the howitzer rounds up to the Navy 16-inch guns. So then you'd recognize this.
Yep.
Wow.
That was the first.
That's
the first shell that Kyle set off. His commander,
That's cool that he has
their
it.
commander gave them. They were allowed to keep their first shell that they ever fired by themselves. So now I want to try to buff that out. Mike, you might know since you make them.
You can buff them out.
What could I use to buff that back out to either turn it into like a light or something that he could use? There's got to be something that I can.
So, on a lot of the dress uniforms,
What's that?
on a lot of the dress uniforms, they have bronze buttons and stuff.
Yep.
And there's a bronze polisher that you typically would use on that.
Okay.
You can use that same compound and buff that completely out.
Okay. So I'll just get one of those like power, because I ain't polishing no brass.
Right.
That
no,
much brass.
That motion.
By hand.
Your neck.
That this kid's not doing that. So
Yeah.
no.
I have 2 herniated discs in my neck. I understand, but I mean, not to say it's anything like what you've gone through.
No. Exactly. Yeah. No. This just But
yeah.
so I guess. So Jesse says that Brasso should work.
Brasso. That's what I was trying to think of.
I'll see if we have that up here, and I'm sure we must have something.
Best.
Is it?
That is the best thing to use on brass. Is Brasso.
Okay. I will definitely, because I'd love to do just to have it polished up for him, and
That's super cool
it
to
means it means something to him. That was the first one that he ever fired. So.
And you might be able to find somebody that does woodwork that can woodwork a plug for the top to actually make it look more complete.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can drill a hole through the top and through the bottom and run your stuff up and turn it into a lamp or whatever.
Well, that'd be totally up to him, whatever he wanted to do with it. But I'm just, he said, what do you use it to drink out of?
No, but I could.
Oh boy.
They use it to drink out of something special.
Yeah, he said use it for pints.
Yeah.
Ask him if he's ever had artillery punch.
No.
I'm going to go out on a limb and just go ahead and let you know. Don't try it.
He's laughing.
There's like 20 different liquors in it.
Oh.
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder.
Yep. And after they get everything put in there, it's stirred with the sergeant major's dirty sock.
Oh.
Yeah, that's definitely an American thing.
Yeah, he said that's an American thing. They would never do that up here.
Disgusting. Oh, it is disgusting.
Yeah. They would never. Oh my! They would be hung and quartered if they tried that in the Canadian military.
Yeah. Well, each group has their own little thing,
Oh
right?
God, yeah. We have that polish, and it's like it's not that much at all.
No, it's actually pretty reasonable.
8 ounces, and it's like $17. So yeah, I'll have to
that's
order
not
some.
bad.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah,
No.
there it's for as good as that stuff works, it's pretty cheap.
yeah, well, that's it. Now I'll just I know my neighbor's got one of those
Buffers,
polishers buffers.
a buffing wheel.
Yeah, so I think he's got one of the ones that it's a little bit more coarse, almost like rope, and then start that, and then gradually get finer and finer, and make it.
Yeah, just kind of sand it down a little bit to get all the burrs and the
Yeah.
It actually
gunpowder and stuff.
there's not that much burr on it, except for where you could tell that the gunpowder was sitting, and
Mhm.
Right, and
it burnt some of it. But
Yep.
even if that doesn't fully come out, that could go like face to the back somewhere. There's enough of it that's not burnt.
well, and with those, I mean, I've seen people just leave them
Hey,
the way
Kareem.
they are because they just polish it as is without sanding all that burnt off, and they look amazing
Yeah, that would be cool.
without all the
and
sanding.
Mike just said that the Brasso will buff it out with a buffing machine.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what we'll do. Because now that you say that, if you were to make a plug for the top out of like some nice oak or whatever, I know us older folk would think that would look good, but
I know some younger guys that think it would look good too, but
what's that?
It'd be
You froze up,
industrial
Chris.
chic.
Yeah. But and there's Kareen. Hello, Kareen.
hey, Green,
Hope everything's well in Jamaica.
still waiting
not
on
getting-
Marvin to get up here.
I know.
I think it's so cool when people come to your chats when they're from other countries. It's really neat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, I don't mind, folks don't have a channel. I don't mind them coming up and chatting, and Jackie
Yeah.
Sawyer being on Raquel's on Monday. It was kind of neat to actually interact and see Jackie, and
Right.
she's been in all our lives for
Yeah.
ever. She's been a loyal family member, subscriber, whichever you want to say, for many
Mhm.
at least since I've been on.
Right.
It's
And,
interesting to see their perspective on things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been trying to get Brutal Bob on, but there's something wrong. We actually tried last week, one evening. I tried, and his son was trying, but we can't get it. We'll
I
probably
didn't think
have to.
he was. I didn't think he was able to get on.
Well, no, he can't.
He can't.
He can chat with us. He won't. We won't have the video going
Mm.
due to security reasons.
Right. Okay.
So that's why that's why he's known as Brutal Bob. So that nobody can trace back to who he is.
Yeah.
He emailed. He emailed us. Because Sarah was talking with him in chat one day while I was sick as a dog.
Yes, you were.
And I saw the email come through and it said whatever, and I was like, whatever, what? Like that was the subject
Yeah.
was whatever. And I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
what? So
That's Bob.
I opened it I was like, because I seen, I saw his name, Brutal Bob. So I was like, I knew who it was from. So I
Yeah.
knew it was safe to open. But I was like, whatever,
Yeah.
what? What in the world are they talking about? And, but he was like, hey, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm like, he has a huge amount of knowledge. And, it would be nice, if he would be able to, and he does share that knowledge, in chat and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it'd be nice to be able to hear that knowledge instead of
Yeah.
read that knowledge.
So you're not
But,
misunderstanding.
right. But
So
it's,
that's the plan, is to go down and spend some time with Bob
Oh,
at his
cool.
property. But
that would be awesome.
I can't get across right now. And
Yeah.
even after November 8th, it's still the test that we have to do to cross is $155.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
You folks can cross up here for free. And what Biden wants us to take, the test that he wants us to take, is $155. Like,
Well,
it makes no
no sense.
sense.
yeah. I
And
have no
I
words
can
for that.
fly down to the US for free,
Mm-hmm.
like with a free test. But if
Mhm.
I'm driving across, I need a $155 test.
Right.
Like, it just makes no sense at all.
Now, is it that way if we go in and then come back out? Do we have to?
Nope.
I
We
don't
we can.
think so.
The way that I understood it, is that we can go both ways,
But we have to
but
quarantine.
you have to have the pokey pokey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you don't get across the border unless you have the pokey pokey. Absolutely, that's both
um,
ways.
so for us to cross into Canada, we have to have the pokey pokey and proof of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just have to show that proof when we come back across.
Well then, yeah, to get into Canada, you guys need a test, but you guys can get it at Walgreens, whatever, free of charge.
Yeah, as long like we just have to have a basic test done.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Where we need one of the big tests, and
That's
it
not
just
right.
makes no sense, because I don't need it to fly in, but I need it to drive in. What's the difference?
When you're going to be in close quarters with a bunch of people on a plane.
So this is screwed up even with the plane. So whenever we're going down to Miami in April, May,
Mm-hmm.
I need a test here, to a negative test, so that whenever I land in Miami, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need a test to get on the plane to come back to my own country.
Yeah.
And so,
Even though you've had the
that's fine. We
pokey.
budgeted for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the test that we need to get back into our country is like $30,
Yeah.
not $155. So again, he's crushing the cross-border shopping that happens between
Yeah.
the two countries.
Exactly.
Well, you know fair well in Oregon,
Mhm.
people are going back and forth across. They go down as far as Seattle
Mm-hmm.
and shop, and people go up into Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
Delta. It's just what you
We
do
like to
across
vacation
border.
on the Vancouver Island, and yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can
know,
go on the
and
ferries, and
yeah, I'm Now, the one that we go to the most is Ogdensburg, New York. But
Mhm.
again, I go watch football in Syracuse.
Mm,
You know, we go to the outlets just outside of Rochester.
yeah.
There's, but he's already made it very clear that our money is nothing. Well, you know what? To the shop owner, our
Mhm.
money floats them
Yeah.
because Canadians spend billions of dollars cross-border shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cheaper for us to go down and shop and come back and pay, even the potential of paying duty. It's still cheaper than some of the stuff buying it here.
Yeah.
I used to take the kids down. We would take the kids down and we would spend 2-3 nights in Syracuse. We'd get
No.
all their back to school shopping
Mhm.
and a weekend away. We did it every year before school, and we'd go to the Syracuse Mall. Kyle would go in the big go-kart that's in the inside. The girls, they'd have a blast shopping. It was just a little getaway before school started.
Yeah.
We did that whole thing for under $2,000. That's hotels, that's meals, that's all their clothes for the year, shoes,
Wow.
everything.
Mhm.
So, it was good for us. But for the last 2 years, folks haven't been able to do that. And it just, the shops apparently that are closing in Watertown and Syracuse because they don't have that cross border. But
Right.
yet, somebody in high power saying
Oh,
that
yeah.
our money's nothing. Well, it paid somebody's bills.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
They,
Oregon. I mean, people are, or all along the West Coast. They're leaving the big cities out here, like in droves.
Yeah. Well, and they're doing that here too. Like the subdivision across the road from me,
Yeah.
25% of the people that bought there from Toronto area. So
Okay.
they moved out of the big city. They can work online now. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter where you live. So what if you got to go to Toronto once a month or whatever for a meeting?
Right.
They're moving
well,
out
and now
into the
there's
rural
Zoom
areas.
meetings and stuff like that now too. So
Right.
a lot of
Abs-
times they can do their meetings
abs-
remotely as well.
Absolutely. But we have city folk moving out here calling our fire chief, wondering why they don't have hydrants on their street.
Yeah.
Well, to tell them that, well, you live in a rural community. We don't have water. You're on a well and septic. And they're
Yep.
like, well, what's a well and septic? Well, you should have really asked that question before you bought the house.
Right.
It's just like, you just want to take and just go, oh my God, like seriously? And yeah, like people contact mom tell you what's in the fridge?
Yeah, I'll be with you.
Oh, princess. His mother made a great big chili last night, but he doesn't want chili before he goes up.
Oh.
I think it's only going to
Smart.
keep him warmer in his sleeping bag, but
Yeah.
teach
Keep
their
all his
own.
buddies off of them.
Yeah.
We played a game on our gun where it was like, because MREs are horrid. They
Mhm.
tear your gut up. They're horrible.
Actually, ours
And
are
so
ours are half decent.
they taste
There's
good,
oh yeah.
but
Did you guys ever have
they
salmon?
no.
Oh, salmon is really good here.
Hmm.
And what's the other really good one? There was salmon and
For what?
MRE. I the salmon was like you couldn't. I'm sorry, but you after you heated it up, put it on your plate, you couldn't tell me if you were eating it in a restaurant.
Well, I don't like salmon.
Yeah,
I like
Kyle doesn't like it salmon anyways, but and the poutine was pretty close.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
all the breakfast one stuff, but
Yeah, like you said, all the breakfast ones suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a like a cheese omelet or breakfast omelet, and it is so gross.
Yeah, because it's
Nobody will
powdered
eat them.
eggs,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, John, you have a good night, and
Yeah.
be safe over in Scotland, and have
Bye,
a
John.
great weekend.
I mean, ours tasted good. I mean, we did have a couple that were just horribly bad in taste, but
Okay.
they were horrid.
Yeah,
And
Kyle
so
said
we
they're-
played a game called we played a game where it was like, let's see who can stay the longest in this small enclosed area.
Sounds like the military.
Well,
And
you know what? That's it. A whole
I
bunch
made
of
our
guys
gun-
bored.
I made our gunner vomit.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Nice.
won. I was like, yes.
Or did you really? Because your stomach had to be a mess for that.
I felt fine. I
Okay.
really felt fine, but yeah, it was
Do you want me to
the
watch
disgusting games you come up with when you're with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's sitting over there. Yeah.
I'm sure a few will be
Yeah.
invented this weekend.
He said a few games will be invented this weekend. So if you got any
Oh, I'm
good ones,
sure.
Chris, shoot me a text. He leaves in an hour.
So, have they done a boom test on their guns yet?
What's a boom test?
So you get your new privates to go out
He's
to the
coming right
end of
over
the
to
gun.
listen.
You take your new privates out to the gun and you have them yell boom down the tube while you measure the density of the boom.
Never heard of that before.
At the other end of the gun.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
That'll be a
Um,
game that could. That's an easily played game.
If we bring the tool up to measure, yeah.
Tell them to go find a pricky 6.
The 10-15 and BA-11s.
The BA-11s and the 10-15s
Yep.
as well. Yeah.
A TREE report.
Hey, John and Sherry.
A box of grid squares. A can of air, or a can of AIR. What's another? Blinker fluid.
Yeah, there you go. You're
We got
drawing.
someone on my gun code course with blinker fluid.
Oh, they got somebody on their gun course with blinker fluid.
Oh, funny.
In high tech, I used to send the new warehouse guys for cable stretchers. You
Oh, that's
don't.
yeah.
You don't
we've done
understand how many kids I got. This one poor kid, checkered paint I got him with as well. And he spent all night looking for cable stretchers and checkered paint.
that. Yep. We
Yeah. Hey, Abby.
a friend of mine got me with the TREE report. He's like, "Hey, go find the TREE report. I need one." And I was like, "All right, TREE." And then it dawned on me that he was sending me for a tree report.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I went to the first sergeant and I was like, "Hey, I need a tree report for my gunner. He really needs one, you know." And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Help me find one that's big enough that I can still drag." And so we found this huge tree limb that was down on the ground. And I drug it over and started sliding it up into the gun, the back side of the gun, and was like, "Here's your TREE report."
That's funny.
So he just said that he may or may not be using that on some new recruits this weekend.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, and you know what? That's all in good fun.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's all
We
part
had
of
an-
the initiative.
When
We had
you're
an
dealing with
E4
serious
that did
stuff,
boom
it
tests
relieves
every day.
tension.
Yeah, the
We had
boom
an
test.
E4. Yeah, we had an E4 that would do a boom test every time before we went out to the field. He would shimmy out on the end of that tube, and we'd do a boom test. Like he never figured it out.
Funny.
But he was like, "Wait, we can't go to the field. We ain't done our boom test yet." Boy, he'd get up there and shimmy out on the end of that gun.
Oh, poor soul.
Oh,
Hey, if he
Wow.
was going to do it, we were going to get a laugh out of it. So,
Yeah.
and the best thing to clean the inside of your tube after you're done firing
Mm-hmm.
is a can of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
That'd eat it away. Yep. Kyle said only the Americans.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, you will have the shiniest gun tube out there if you use a can of Coke.
Yeah, he said fair enough. What's that?
It cleans rust off of things.
Yeah, like you said, it's not stupid if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works great. We actually, when we first started using it, I was like, man, really? Because
People
they'd bring a
use it.
case of
Yeah.
Coke out, and we'd dump two cans down our tube, and then use our brush and scrub it out really good. And then all we'd have to do is punch our football through, and they would be. You'd look down them, and you could just see the sun glistening off of it.
Wow.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it was so much easier because instead of sitting there for, and putting the oil or whatever on it, the gun oil on the end of your brush, and running it through your tube, 12 times, you only run it through 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're doing 6 or 8 guns, it cuts the time down on doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here, you got to try this. Yep. I was given some pepper jelly today, or not today, but so I put I put a good lather of, where is it? Cream cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and then the pepper jelly on top.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's awesome.
I do that with cowboy candy. I have enough peppers out in the freezer to make pepper jelly, but I don't want to jar up any more food because I got to transport it to Tennessee. So
Oh, you don't like it?
No.
Oh, he doesn't like it. I thought he liked it. He likes a lot
He's
of
young.
hot stuff like I do.
Just the texture.
Oh, he
only
doesn't like the
food,
texture
maybe.
of it.
My husband's that way with jelly. He doesn't like jelly.
Well, I figured because of the heat that he'd like it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something with the texture that it's not. Oh my goodness.
I'm like that. There's a couple of things that I'm like, I really like the taste and the flavor. Don't like the texture. Like
Right.
coconut. I love the
Yes.
taste of coconut, but
I
I don't like the texture of the coconut
Just give me.
shavings.
You guys talk amongst yourselves here for 1 sec.
Talks amongst yourself.
Yeah. So, it's more there's a lot of things I don't like just because it's the texture of it
Mm.
that tastes really good. So it's like, can I just get past the texture?
I'm like that with
And
like
I'll try
wings
it and I'm like,
You'll try it and
and just be like, can't get past the texture.
Yeah.
But I try it ever so often just because I know that the taste buds change and everything like that. So
Hmm.
there's there's that chance that it'll change enough that the texture won't bother me.
I'm like that
Yeah.
with meat gristle. I can't stand that. Like when somebody like puts a whole wing in their mouth and just will pop and eat the whole. No. It's
Oh,
like no.
that's how I eat wings.
Yeah.
That's how I eat them too. But I can't do the gristle. I have to pull that out.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't grizzle.
You know, like the
Or the
gel, the white
You
jelly.
mean the cartilage at either end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially on drumsticks, they have that nice little knob.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some
Right
people
behind the
just eat it
cartilage.
down.
No. No. I'm the same. I'm the same way. I can't. And just give me 1 second.
Yeah, give me just a second as well.
Yeah. So who's all in here?
Okay, I'm back.
Hello, this old helmet.
Let's see here. Got John and Sherry. They're in the house.
Mhm.
Sherry with Black's Tropical Homestead. She's back. And
They grow some fun stuff.
Kareen, Chris, your stories
They're-
are very entertaining, especially when you get distracted and hear something wrong. Gives a whole new meaning. Something about your gun tube. She heard it wrong and it didn't sound correct to Kareen, so she was just questioning that.
Gun tube. No,
Yeah.
they're mowing on a Friday. They usually mow on Monday, so I was gonna let them know that there's some big rocks that got thrown out into the yard. I don't know if they'd gotten picked up or moved, so I didn't want them to hit them with the mower.
Nope,
Oh yeah.
it's not cheap because I
Nope.
don't know if my neighbor threw one in my yard or what, but I smoked a great big rock with my brand new lawn tractor.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Not happy.
So
Anyways,
sorry.
I've got one more cut, and then I'll just order a new blade next year
Mhm.
and put a brand new blade on. Like it didn't hurt the deck at all, but it
That's
bent
good.
the blade. Yeah, it just sucks.
So since Corinne likes my stories, I got another one here. So I was sick Monday.
So Kareen said, "Don't forget the privates won Scott." You're losing me, Kareen. You've been playing with too much Jamaican ganja. Well, she did say she was on lunch, so it's Friday
Yeah.
afternoon in Jamaica.
Yep.
I hear that's always a good time. Poor Marvin's slaving at work, and
And she's having a good time.
absolutely, it's always the way.
I'm having a good time while my husband's at work.
Yeah, but somebody else is having a meltdown because Daddy's not home.
Right. Yeah, I think he needed a nap. He didn't have a good night's sleep, so
That'll do it.
because he went upstairs and he was just sitting in there and he went and sat on his bed and he fell asleep, I think, because I haven't heard anything for a while.
Yep.
Otherwise, he
Having a
would have been
nap.
right back down here.
And he's what, 14?
14. But, he's more like a 2.5-year-old as
Sure.
far as, yeah. So,
That's awesome. Just that I like that he's able to, that he would have thought that was cool, just us saying hello,
yeah. I mean,
I
you
have.
know, he did a whole year of spec school, so he knows that there's real people on the other end, and now he thinks it's really cool to say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a big proponent. Um, I don't. What's that? You got him? Okay. I can't say unless, in case my daughter ever watches this, I can't see her watching it, but she got her Christmas gift already.
Mm.
And, oh, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, Karine.
Have to look.
You can only imagine.
So
Oh my goodness.
yesterday, I come back to work, right? Called my boss. Was it, like, hey, this is what went on. This is what happened, And she was like, well, do you have enough sick leave to cover it? I said, yeah. Well, she was like, just put it in. We'll approve it. It's not a big deal. I was like, sweet. So I put in my leave, and I was 2.5 hours short to cover it all. So I called my boss back, and I'm like, hey, I'm 2.5 hours short on sick leave. And she was like, you're fired. And I was like, okay. Like, literally, I'm on the phone with her. She can't see me, and I just dropped my head.
Right.
Like, she could see me, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go home then. And she was like, no, I was only kidding. I was only kidding.
Oh,
Because she thought I was really going to go home. I was done. But I could hear in her voice that she was joking when she said it.
mhm.
But, yeah. I spent most of the morning yesterday trying to get my leave stuff squared away. Come in this morning, and it was all messed up. So she had to send me a text that says, okay, put it in this way instead of how we done it. And I was like, okay. So
How much? Yeah.
we
Wow.
finally got it all corrected. And it's all
Okay.
covered. So
What does it say on your hat? I can catch a
in
little.
God's hands.
Oh, okay.
Sarah actually made that.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay.
I think she's made 3. She's made me one, Jacob one, and her dad one, I believe, are the 3 that she's made.
That would be a cool thing to sell on, like if you guys had a website or something, because that's really neat.
Yeah, it just takes so long to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's so intricate. And
Mm-hmm.
Well, those beads are tiny. In
Yeah.
fact, there's 1, 2, 9 rows,
Wow.
and
yeah.
it's trying to.
Well, just all the little details too. That's awesome. Good job, Sarah, if you can hear us. That's sweet.
Yeah, I think Sarah left.
Oh, okay.
All right, Big Mike, you go and oh yeah, you're on Ricky Ventures tonight. So yeah, I'll be over to watch you there.
I'll try to get in it. It depends on what
Yeah,
happens
Rick.
when I get home.
That's it. I always go to Ricky's for a while, and then once Lisa goes live, I always jump over onto Lisa. But
It's hard to keep up with all the lives.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, getting back to what I was saying is whenever, any of the guys that are special needs, let me use air quotes.
Yeah.
I don't treat them any different. Like
Right.
my assistant football coach is special needs,
Yeah.
but he knows more about football than a lot,
Right.
and I listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, I think we should do this.
Well,
He's my
some of these
assistant.
autistic kids are brilliant.
He is, but
Yeah.
all his older brothers played competitive football,
Mm-hmm.
so he's been dragged to football games since
Yeah.
he was a baby.
And they
So
probably want
he knows
home
he
and
knows inside out and the different plays, and yeah, no, it and I don't treat him any different than any other one of the guys. And he's said to me before, he thanked me
yeah.
that didn't treat him any different. And I don't. I picked on them just as much as I pick on any one of my football guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, the way I've always, I don't know.
Well, and they get treated so different
Yeah.
all the time. And
And some people treat them like they have a plague or something.
Amen.
right,
Yeah.
That's the sad
and
part.
we had a kid. He was special needs when I was in school,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how to I treated him. I didn't treat him any differently than I would anybody else. But he he'd done something, and I got mad, and I threw a nice flat rock, and that was not the right thing to do. But
Mm-hmm.
because we would tease him, but not. It wasn't meant to be in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he didn't understand that, and so eventually I grew up and got a little more mature, and
Yeah.
we actually become friends later on in high school. And I just
Bye, Jesse.
it was such an eye-opening experience, and now I'm that way. I'll talk to them, I'll include them. It doesn't make me a difference. I'm not, and I'll tell them too. I'll tell people that I meet for the very first time, if they've got a disability, I'm like, I'm not going to treat you any differently than I would treat somebody without a disability.
Mm-hmm.
You're a person, you're a human. You respect me, I'll respect you, and we'll be fine.
Right.
So I
And
guess
that's
we're
what I
not
tell
okay, right?
I treat you the same as I treat anybody
Because
else.
I just bug you right to no end. So
It's good.
Yeah, but it's all in good fun, and I know that. So
absolutely.
It's hard with like kids with autism. I used to work in a school that was the whole school was all the autistic kids from the Portland metro area and into Vancouver, Washington, and everything. And we took the hardest kids that couldn't function in a regular school. And so, I mean, and we try to treat them like, but with autistic kids, when there's that barrier where they're not interpreting you right, it's you got to have some difference in how you treat them,
Yes.
because got to be very clear with your words and stuff. But
yeah, when I was working in the nursing home, one of uh, our residents had, I think it was her granddaughter, who was autistic,
mm-hmm,
high functioning autistic.
Mm-hmm.
So but um, I had walked by and she had asked me a question, and I was like, I was rushing, and so I was like, if you'll give me just a minute, I'll be right there, because I was in the middle of something that was really important. Well, it made her cry, and I told her, I told her mom, I said, look, I said, I didn't mean to make her cry, you know, she, I was like, I was in the middle of something that was important, and this is what I said, and she was like, yeah, sometimes she doesn't understand the emotions of things,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where she gets confused. So where I was just like, give me just a minute, that slight tone of voice
Yeah.
to her made her feel like I was yelling at her
Yeah.
Well, and you have a deep
when I
voice too.
wasn't. Right. So um, I've been told I have a good drill sergeant voice. So it was like, I explained to him, I was like, this is what I said, and I apologize if it came off bad. I didn't mean for it, to come off like I was yelling or anything. And they were great. They sat down with her and me, and we talked, and I told her, I was like, sorry, that's kind of how my voice is, I was like, wasn't directed, badly towards you or anything like that. You know, she's a great kid. We never had an issue, and I told her, I was like, I'll talk, I just explained to her, I was like, I talk to you like I will anybody else. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you're no different. You're not different in my eyes. You're still a human being. You're still a person, and you're, to be uh, treated as such.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't, I explained to her that I didn't look at her any differently than I did anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
and they were
anyways,
very appreciative of that.
most people wouldn't take the time,
Yeah.
and that's the sad part.
Right.
But we're coming on 3 hours, so
Yeah.
I best. It doesn't seem like 3 hours, but I
No, it
should.
It
doesn't.
doesn't when you talk to good friends.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. You just start chatting away, and one thing leads to another, and boom.
Well, there's so much in life
You've
to talk
only
about.
absolutely. We could
Mhm.
probably go on for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah, and yeah. So thank you guys for coming up.
Oh crap! I
And
didn't take my medicine at lunch.
Oops.
oh, well, that's not good.
That's what you're after.
Yeah, I'll do that shortly.
You best be going to take that right now.
You were still
Mhm.
in that energy. Come on.
Do you need it? Do you have to take it with food or? Oh,
No, it's just an antibiotic. They're still hitting me pretty heavy with the antibiotics right now.
that's
I
not nice,
thought,
Kareen. I said to her in the chat, that's not nice. She said, what's not nice? She's not being nice. She's not playing nice. I'm going to have to tell Marvin.
we know who really wears the pants in that family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. The baby. She rules everybody.
It's definitely not Marvin.
Funny.
Oh, he does.
But they
But he
tell him
wears
which ones to
whatever.
wear.
No. He wears whatever pants Kareen tells him to wear.
That's right.
Same as the rest of us. Yep. I wear the pants whenever she tells me to.
Yeah. My husband wears the pants. I turn his head though. You know what I mean? Well, how about this?
Oh.
Let me.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to get
Let
my
me
book ordered.
let you be a man, but I can just guide you, turn your head, make you think about different things.
Absolutely. What
Yeah.
book?
The one you sent me the link for.
Oh, yes. It. I forget how many sold the first day. Yeah,
That's awesome.
she's doing all right. Yeah. Yeah. It
Good
was
for her. That's awesome.
well, and it's something that was kind of needed,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes sense. It makes everybody's lives more personable
Mm-hmm.
whenever you can call somebody from their first name instead of, and let's face it, I've got, I'm about 400 channels now I sub to,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm
I'm,
up there too.
yeah, and I'm modding for 50.
Wow.
So I,
Mine doesn't count.
well, no, yours is just a party channel. Plus, I know everybody on your channel, right?
Right?
And a lot of the channels I mod for are all channels within this community, so we're pretty much the same people watching, with the exception of a few that differ. But it's usually within a little bit they'll end up coming over here as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, I hang out with you guys, but I'm mostly with Wyatt Family Farms because Poop Troop member and all that fun stuff. But I
Yeah.
like to reach out to and get to know all kinds of different people. So it's just fun.
Absolutely, it's the last 8 months has just been a whirlwind,
Mm-hmm.
and going from not, well, I shouldn't say that. I've been modding for Brandon for quite a while and a couple other channels for
Mm-hmm.
years. But to actually take the jump to be a creator was
Yeah.
only, the end of March, 1st of April.
I'm in the
And
same timeline.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, I'm growing at the speed that I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as fast as Sun. Oh, just give me one sec. Hello?
Yeah, I love how you guys got shout outs from the very beginning. One video out and you guys were getting shout outs.
Right?
That was
That was really amazing. Like, we had no clue that was going to happen.
right.
And to get those two shout outs from Gail and from Jan, that just blew our minds that we throw that first video up and
Yeah.
that quick got shouted out, and it was just like, wait a minute, whoa, okay, time out,
Yeah.
slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't
And
shout out until I was like, probably 2 months in. And then people noticed me. And I didn't know how to, do the whole communitize and, and now that I know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, now my channel's growing. So,
I think what helped us so much was that we've been a part of LG's stuff,
mhm.
when she started. So,
Yep.
people already knew of us.
Mm,
Well, that's it. I
You
knew
know,
you guys before you even had a
right.
channel.
Sarah was actually in one of the lives with Lori and
Yep.
Scott before we even had a channel.
nice.
And so, we've always had, we've had the farm now almost going on 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 or 9 years we've had the farm.
Look who
And
graced our presence just as we're starting to get off.
Hey, Vision
Mr.
Acres.
Vision Acres.
Yeah.
it still won't let me see the community chat.
I don't
I'm
understand that.
It doesn't for me either, so I'm on, like, I got my phone on the side so I can say hi to people.
And I don't understand because you used to be able to. So I don't know
You
if
know,
it's something that StreamYard has changed or what, but because I looked through all the setup and it's nothing that's done on my end. So
Right.
it must be something that they've done.
yeah, it's fine. It doesn't, I mean, but but yeah, those two shout outs were amazing. And like I was saying, Sarah had already been in a live with LG, and
Mhm.
Scott. And so there were already people that knew of us and
Yeah.
knew a little bit of our background story anyways, before
Right.
we actually started the channel. Um,
Yep.
LG had talked about us some, so it was easier for us to grow like we did, but it was still like, I mean, we had threw that video up and was not expecting really anything, and the next thing we knew, we had 50 family members there, and it was like, hey, where'd they
Yeah.
come from? And
And
now we're over 150, and I think we've had our channel, what, 2 months, 2.5 months,
That's awesome.
maybe
something like that.
3 months, 3 months tops we've had our channel,
Mhm.
and we're over 150 now, and it's just like, I could care less about the numbers. I'm more about quality over quantity.
Mhm.
So I try to get to channels that I'm
Yes,
going to learn
Matt.
something from, whether it be gardening tips. I just run across a channel called Epic Gardening.
Mhm.
Um, this guy is in a urban setting, and it teaches you how to get the best out of your soil, how to do what to plant in the fall and winter in order to in order for the roots to go down and break your soil up, but yet
Mhm.
keep everything in place so it doesn't erode away.
Yeah.
Um, how to compost it. Just anything to make gardening easy and to get the most out of what you plant.
I do a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, and I'm I'm hooked on your channel because of that. I get to see things and go, okay, I need to try this.
Mhm.
And that's why a lot of times when I comment, it's like, hey, I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's going to come in handy when I get my garden going.
Yeah.
And so I can do a good garden.
Mhm.
Sarah will even tell you she can't grow anything.
I couldn't grow anything when I started either. I mean, so, it's just research. I have another learning curve when we move to Tennessee and we move on that clay soil that's never been gardened on at all. So it's going to be a challenge learning how to, what
But
grows in there. So,
what
So
so
is
many
it
people don't realize is that the soil from Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, it's that clay soil,
mhm.
and it is the best soil to plant things in.
Oh, okay.
it retains the moisture?
It retains the
Oh,
moisture. You don't have to water nearly as much. Um, the only thing we had trouble with in our garden, our first garden we did, was our lettuce took off. It went crazy. Um, our broccoli didn't do so well. Our cauliflower didn't do very well.
mhm.
Our potatoes didn't do very well. But I think it's when we planted was part of it. Um, it wasn't Yep, if you set them in there, I'll be in just a minute. In this one? Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll grab them in just a second. That one's fine.
What?
So it was,
Molly, get off the table.
you know, our onions and garlic didn't do real well.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. The wild turkeys that you saw that video,
Yeah.
they're outside my front door right now. The dog's
Oh,
going
yeah.
crazy. She wants to go. Good God, Chris, they're coming for you, buddy.
It's an ambulance.
Well, wasn't that a fire truck? And now I hear a helicopter. What the heck's
Mhm.
going on?
So we're right across from the Indian hospital.
Oh.
And so they're getting ready to life flight somebody out.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, learning those little tricks on how to put nitrogen in the soil without buying, you know, some expensive fertilizers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
That's why
and
Go ahead. I don't want to touch it.
that's what Epic Gardener does, is he teaches you
Mhm.
how to do those things, which he's over 1 million followers,
Mhm.
and he had just posted a video just like 3 or 4 days ago.
Mhm.
And he's, you know, I scrolled through some of the comments, and he's been really good about getting back to whoever comments,
Mm.
which is great considering he has so many followers.
Yeah, that's hard. I
He'll take the
that
time to
people-
actually, you know, explain something to you.
Yeah. That's why I do rabbits, and then I keep them over a bed of wood chips, and over a year the rabbits will break down that wood chips, and then I've got the nitrogen, and so I've got the hot and the cold. I've got the brown and the green, and it mixes together, and I just throw that on my garden every spring. Won't do it
Well,
this
then
year.
rabbit isn't hot, right?
Nope.
You can put that on right away.
You can put it right, so if you have a plant that needs some fix quick, well, not too quick, because it is a slow release too, because anything organic is slow release. So
Sure.
yeah.
We've got rabbits. I'm getting ready to, now that I can get to my wood chipper, I've got to get it serviced and stuff, because I've got some limbs from our storm that I'm gonna chip up and put directly into the garden, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna take all the compost pile and what's in my chicken coop now. When I clean it out, it's all going straight to the garden spot, and I'm gonna spread it all out and let that set over the winter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
if you actually put wood chips under rabbits, it takes care of the stink too. And so it just absorbs all that and it mixes in. And if you leave it for a year, absorbing all that, and then put that in your garden in the spring, it's amazing what it will do. It's amazing. I love
our
it.
rabbits are not outside.
Oh,
They're inside rabbits.
yeah.
They have litter boxes in their cages, but
They're friends, not food.
they are
Mine are food.
they
Sorry.
they're terrors.
Mm-hmm.
Love our rabbits, but they like to pull the wire out of their litter boxes
Mm-hmm.
and throw all the bedding stuff that we've got in the bottom of it out. Yeah,
Yes.
They would be food.
Yeah.
I told Sarah, I was like, worst comes to worst, we'll eat those puppies.
Yeah, I have California cross, New Zealand mixes, and they're meat rabbits. So they stay outside.
We talked about breeding our rabbits, but
Yeah, but
they're
you need the meat breeds to to get something.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't end up with any. But rabbits can handle the cold, so they can always go
Ours,
outside.
ours can't handle the cold or the heat. It'll kill them.
Oh, yeah. The heat is hard on them. All rabbits, but
See, and Kyle and I tried rabbit. I even forget where all the girls were. Anyways, it was just Kyle and I home, and we tried rabbit, and neither one of it. It was so tough. I honestly would never eat it again. And then I hear, there's so many folks that raise them down there
yeah.
that it's a delicacy. But
Yeah. But see, you
we
gotta
found it
raise
so
them. It's
tough
like any.
and yeah.
You
That
gotta.
was the way it was prepared.
Yeah. You gotta raise them, and it's also the way you grow them, and you eat them at a certain time. It's just like chicken. You don't want to eat your layers because they don't taste right because they're meant for and they're older. So if you get a younger rabbit that you produce for a certain time, they're tougher and yeah.
Okay.
And it may be the kind of rabbit that you're eating too.
Yeah.
I don't
Wild
like I say, I
rabbit
don't
is
know
the best.
which.
In all reality, wild rabbit is the best.
Yeah, I got plenty of.
It's
You have to watch for disease with wild rabbit.
you do. That's typically why you can only hunt them in certain times of the year
Yeah.
because that's it's less likely for it to have those specific diseases. So they try to. I know, especially our wildlife. Um, they try to set up every season
Mm-hmm.
to minimize disease in the animals that you take.
Yeah.
See, I've had wild rabbit before at the hunt camp, and it was very good.
Hmm.
And then I don't know where the girls were, but it was just Kyle and I home, and I'm like, let's get a rabbit. And we tried it, and yeah, it had to be the most tough, disgusting thing that I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
So it was probably how it was
Eating.
prepared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how it was prepared, right? So
Yeah, if you
I don't know.
overcook a rabbit, it's going to be extremely tough.
Oh, it was probably overcooked.
Yeah. Living Traditions has some good recipe for rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If we had the freezer space, I would be in the woods every single afternoon,
Right.
every season.
I don't
I would take
prefer it, so
rabbit.
I have bred them, but
Well, that's it. You breed them, so you don't have to go far.
Yeah,
yeah.
rabbit, squirrel, deer, hog. I'd hunt it all.
They are the most sustainable meat though. So if you're thinking crisis situation, but you have to that's the thing, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well," and I'm the same way. I'm not going to eat the rabbit unless I am in that place where I have to. Because they're just so easy to get attached to. But you have to continue to breed them, and what we've done is just bred them and then sell them,
Oh,
because
okay.
people want rabbits. And so I still have rabbits that are good breeders in case an emergency happens, because you're going to
Yeah.
eat whatever if an emergency happens. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So what is
I told my son one time that we was going to eat his dog if worse come to worse. He was like, "I'll eat you first."
at
What were
least
you
he's
going to
being
say,
honest.
Scott?
I told him I was too full of fat.
There's that too. That'll keep us going longer. How long does it take for rabbit to reproduce from
Well, you breed them, and in 28 days you can have kits, baby rabbits.
28 days?
28
Wow.
days, and then 2 to 3 weeks after they throw those kits, you can
They
breed them
can-
again. And
Wow.
so, and if like my rabbit had 9 babies, so if she's gonna throw 9 to 7 babies per kit or per litter, and so if you can feed a whole family off a rabbit. And if you're supplementing other fats in your diet, you're going to be just fine.
Mm.
So
Now, how long do you grow them out?
you grow them out for 8 to 9 weeks. And then you got that nice young tender rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah,
So about the same as what a meat bird would be.
right. I think they're
Oh.
best at 12 weeks, but yeah.
Okay. So anytime
Okay.
before 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm. You got good tasting little rabbit.
And if you don't like that gamey taste, soak it in buttermilk.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
It will take the gamey taste out of it if you're not very
Yeah.
big on the game taste. That wild
Yeah,
game
game-
taste.
But
Game
the-
doesn't.
But the meat rabbits don't taste that gamey. I mean, that has a lot to do with what you feed them too. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any further, do you have the number in front of you?
All right.
Put it in my-
Well, I am now almost to 3 hours and 25
yeah,
minutes.
those ordered extra there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got some work to do.
Me
Because
Yes,
it's
too.
not
you-
procrastination Thursday.
No, it isn't. It isn't. We've already played that game.
It's
Yeah,
hurry up
so
and
I-
get your work done
Oh, yeah.
so you can go home Friday.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
there's 90 of them.
Yeah, finish your work
Exactly.
early and run.
Yeah.
Well, I can't leave
All
till
right,
the
Craig.
doors are locked. So
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Bye, you guys.
we'll see y'all
Anyways, we'll see you guys
Monday.
later.
Yep.
and maybe
Bye.
in some lives later.
Yep.
I'm sure we will. At least
All right.
Lisa's.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out. And hopefully,
Yeah.
if anybody was on Twitter and whatever, we'll see how that works out.
506
And,
987
yeah.
9590.
We will.
And what's his name? You know.
You guys have a great weekend. And be kind, be safe, and God bless.